So today we have a special treat. We have 4 of our community members who are going to reflect on the power of gratitude in their lives, to live what Kelly just sang. First, I would like to introduce someone who's new to our community in this last year, and someone who has made a profound impact by their very presence. Their love, their devotion, their commitment, their willingness, their humility. Many of you probably don't know Sean, because Sean is a worker who works behind the scenes. But his impact, I have to tell you, is profound to all of us. So without further ado, I welcome to the platform Sean Kelly.
Thank you, Ken. So for gratitude, I have this quote that is on my desk. It's one of my favorites. Watch with glittering eyes the whole world around you, because the greatest secrets are hidden in the most unlikely of places. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. I believe that gratitude is a very magical thing, and it has changed my life. I suffer from PTSD, and I have panic attacks. And for most people, panic attacks are the sky is falling. My panic attacks, the sky has fallen. And through the magic of gratitude and what I've learned in the practice of it here through Unity, I can take that moment and I can be grateful for my safe home, for the wind blowing through the canopies of trees, for the fog that envelops over the city and nestles it in for a good night's rest. And it helps me to navigate. That magic helped me navigate through fear and shame and lack and unworthiness, and it brings the sky back up. It takes me out of my head and back into my heart. And with that, I hope that all of us use our glittering eyes to find that secret magic that is gratitude, and that you practice it every day. Thank you.
I love you.
You are so brave.
You make me look brave.
Thank you, Sean. I am constantly amazed by the courage that every human being on this planet lives, right? The courage to stand up and to tell our truth and to be who we are is the things that shift us all, but it's also the things that connect us all. And I love this quote. Go back. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. But the magic isn't making something out of nothing. It is taking what is there and seeing it for what it truly is. And thank you for demonstrating that so beautifully, Sean. Whew. Thank you. The next speaker in our service today came to us several years ago, but she has been a student of New Thought and of Buddhism for her whole life. Coming from a more traditional background, she has charted a course to her own excellence, her own brilliance, and her own practice of spirituality and gratitude that shifts everything. She's a member of our board of trustees, and I am delighted to introduce to you Shantaria McGilbra. Thank you, sweetie.
Okay, I'll try not to be too nervous here. I have my notes. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to share this experience with you. So, as Ken mentioned, I am a Buddhist, and I don't know if any of you know, but I'm a Nichiren Daishonin Buddhist. And President Ikeda passed away. He brought Buddhism from Japan to the United States and 192 other countries. And he passed away this week. So really grateful for him. And, you know, if people ask me today what made me who I am today, I'll tell you it was Buddhism. And then later on, Unity. So I'm grateful to have practiced Buddhism for 31 years. And yeah, that's exactly how old I am. So today I'd like to share with you my gratitude practice, because Buddhism is a practice. And I learned the concept of gratitude from Unity. And I just took on the practice of gratitude because it's very familiar to me as a Buddhist. So at my first Buddhist meeting, there was the lesson I learned, literally my very first Buddhist meeting. They said, "You are responsible for everything in your life." And I said, I'm very vocal, I'm sure you all know that. And I said, "Everything? Oh no!" And I was so terrified of that. But what they meant was, no, you're not responsible for what other people do. That's their karma. You're responsible for how you respond, because that changes your karma either positively or it creates a life full of opportunity karma, as I call it. So in that way, we are responsible for everything in our lives. And if we're responsible for everything in our lives, I thought, well, why can't we then just be grateful for everything in our lives if we're responsible for it anyway? This supports another Buddhist lesson I learned, that my life is proof of my practice. That's another one I said, really? That was a tough one too. And when I started thinking about gratitude, I said, oh, okay. So if my practice in Buddhism is proof of my life, then so is gratitude practice, right? It shows. I mean, we can all tell when our life is not reflective of gratitude, right? I mean, show of hands here. I know I know when I roll out of bed, I'm like, is this a grateful day or not? So it reminds me of a story. I was celebrating with my family. I have a second family. They're Puerto Rican. And so as you know, there's 4 girls. And there's 5 of us, actually. So there's a lot of drama at family events. And one of my sisters, Becky, was just having a full meltdown. It was just not a grateful day for her. And, again, being, your practice is proof of your life. Oh, it's back. And my mommy, Candy, she said, "Becky, your God's not working." And we all burst out into laughter, and even Becky realized, like, she's right. My life, I'm showing that my practice isn't working. So it was very interesting. That story came to me. But, for me, gratitude is fiercely personal and quiet. And yet it's really loudly resonates through my intuition, creativity, compassion, and my capacity to manifest. And I love that every day I start with 3 gratitudes, just to get them out of the way, because if I don't, I'll forget, as we all do. But the first one is, thank you, universe, for another day. The second one is, thank you for my health. And the third one is, thank you for showing me what I need to learn today. My gratitude practice is demonstrated in my life by being the first person up and dancing to our beautiful music, introducing myself to new guests, and being as present as much as I can, even when I'm having challenges and just mentally struggling some days. Gratitude can be hard when learning lessons and easy when it gives us what we want, but it's always rewarding, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you.
And sprinkle another gratitude in here. I am grateful for the richness of our community, right? And we give, in our society right now, we're awakening to the gifts of diversity. And we here at Unity San Francisco have been consciously working at becoming more diverse, because it used to be, and I want to say it used to be, that 10 or 11 o'clock on Sunday morning was the most segregated moment in American life. And what I get to say proudly from here is we're changed that. Unity and Unity San Francisco are actively working on changing that we all benefit when there is a wider spectrum of religious, spiritual beliefs, but also life experiences and culture. So I'm so grateful for this community and its willingness to change at our core, right? Because that's what's going to bless us the most. One of those things that we did to do that is we no longer are confined to San Francisco. We are bigger than San Francisco, right? Yes. We may be Unity San Francisco, but we have a big reach. And in the middle of the pandemic, we learned that very profoundly when people were joining us from across the nation. This next speaker joined us because they were disaffected with their home church, and they weren't hearing that message of inclusion and message of all have an equal seat at this table. So they consciously went out and searching for a different unity message. They are a unity teacher, speaker at churches all around the country, and today we are blessed to have our member, Mark Litt, come speak to us from Detroit, Michigan.
Hey guys, it's me, Mark Litt, talking to you from the Spiritual Salon, or at least that's where I usually am on Sunday, waving at you from my home in Detroit, Michigan. But today is something special. Reverend Ken asked me to come in and talk a little bit about gratitude for my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. So I'm breaking out of the Zoom room and coming to you live to say hello. How you doing, San Francisco? Yeah, I love Thanksgiving. It's always been a time to get in touch with my relatives and be really present. And Reverend Ken wanted me to talk about gratitude. And, you know, things are pretty good in my life, but I don't know that I always am feeling it. I think sometimes I'm like too much stuck in the past about something that happened and I wish it wouldn't have and that kind of thing. And that gets in the way of me feeling about how good things are right now. Even more, I'm thinking about the future. And again, that interferes with me being present in the moment today. And it's a great day. And like Buddhists talk about, when we're present in the here and now, that's the only time I can really get in touch with reality. And I'm much more able to feel my gratitude. So I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for right now today. It's a beautiful sunny fall day here in Detroit, Michigan. I have the day off. It's a Saturday. There's a great football game on, a hockey game on that I'm, going to enjoy after recording this. That's really great. Kate's off on a hike, having fun with a friend and a relative out in nature, so I know my loved one is happy. But I want to be really sincere and say that one of the things I'm most happy about is the fact that every year, every month, every day, more and more, I'm being more fully myself and who I am. And a big part of that is Unity and the folks at Unity San Francisco and the teachings of our ministers have all been to encourage us to feel safe and reach out and be our true and authentic selves, because we're the only one that can do it. And that's what makes us and makes me the most happy. So that's my little message to you on Thanksgiving. But I will go back and say that I love being part of the Spiritual Salon. And one of the things I'm really grateful for is the fact that Unity San Francisco is so great about including people that aren't, right there in the Bay Area. So thank you for that. During the Sunday services, we've got the salon. I mean, we've got, YouTube and the live stream. That's great. But at the salon, we're talking with each other, interacting with each other. And then afterwards, we've got Dean here, Dean over the shoulder. He comes on the red carpet and guys come up and say hello to us. And that really helps us feel connected with the locals. But before I go, I want to put a thought in your head. The idea that the Zoom room it's for out-of-towners, but you know what? It's not just for out-of-towners. We love it when you local folks join us. And I want to encourage you to do that because that really weaves the congregation together and breaks down the barrier of being local or being out of town and makes us stronger as a community. So, maybe one day you've got a really busy schedule and, you can't, it will be hard for you to go in person and commute to church. Stay home. Join us on the spiritual salon. Join us in the Zoom room, okay? Sometimes, unfortunately, someone is not feeling that well. So they attend the church in the Zoom room. And we get a chance to talk during the service, but especially after, and bond and talk about how great the service is and share our thoughts and feelings about it for a half an hour. So for whatever the reason, you local folks, come join the Zoom room every now and then. Get to know all the great folks that are on there and help weave us together. I really love being included in Unity and Unity San Francisco, and I'm inviting you to do even more of that in the coming year. So enjoy your holidays, have a gentle and peaceful, happy holiday, and I'll see you right here on the Zoom room. Love you.
Mark Litt. Woo, Mark Litt. Thank you, Mark. Everybody, you can wave to that camera. That's where they are. Woo. Thank you, Mark. And to wrap this up, someone you know very well, someone who has been the biggest change agent, and someone whom I'm personally so grateful for, our own Misa Malone. Yeah, no, you don't need it. You don't need that.
Good morning. So I purposefully did not prep what I was going to speak on today. I let myself be led. Because sometimes it's best to be in the moment and just to be present and just to sit in it and take it in. A couple of weeks ago, I was fortunate and blessed to attend the Blind Cafe, which was held right here in the sanctuary. You would not have recognized it because it was black. Like, black. But it was amazing. And one of the things that the person who was running the event, he kept talking about everything they had to do to get to that point and how apologetic he was because this wasn't done and that wasn't done because of everything they had to do to get to that point. And then he said, I have 3 words. So he did a 3-word gratitude practice. How many of you have a 3-word gratitude practice? Just find 3 positive things you can say. And his talking about all the hullabaloo, all of the angst, all of the stress of getting to that moment brought up 3 words for me. But what was interesting in that moment is I reflected on a song that I wrote. It was actually my very first single that I released way too damn long ago. But it was called Free. And the opening lyrics were, have you ever had a day where you want to get away from the hustle and the bustle of mundanity? So many things to do and so many questions to find answers for. And then there's more. No time for you. Sometimes you need a break Just a way to escape from the up and down and round of your everyday. This time of year especially, we get caught up in the giddy up, hurry up, right? To get everything ready. You've got family coming over or you're going to families. You have to cook. You have to figure out what you're doing for Thanksgiving. You have to figure out what you're doing for the holidays. There's a party. There's a Friendsgiving. There's work. There's this. There's that. And then for me, my day job, yes, my Clark Kent persona, is very, very busy this time of year too. Like, as my sons shared this morning, 15, 16, 18-hour days, 10 days straight, including weekends busy. And we have a tendency to forget to be grateful when we're caught up in the busyness, right? And as I was sitting there and I was listening, I think his name was Rosh. Yeah, Rosh. I was sitting and I was listening to Rosh with the Blind Cafe talk about all of the busyness and how it wasn't what he thought it would be. And he was in effect apologizing for what we had all just shared was an amazing experience. But it wasn't the experience he wanted. And I was touched to speak to him with 3 words. The 3 words were abundance, blessings, and generosity. The busyness is an abundance. You are blessed. Whether it's work, you are blessed to have work that I hope fulfills you. And if it doesn't fulfill you, that's a whole nother sermon. We're going to come back to that. But if you have work that fulfills you, that occupies you, that keeps you busy, that's a blessing of abundance. If you have family that wants to see you, sit in fellowship with you, break bread with you, cook with you, talk with you, and yeah, I know about family. Not always the blessing we would want them to be, but not everyone has family. Not everyone has a grandmother, a mother, a father, cousins, uncles, whoever that you're caught up in this busyness to prepare for. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have the abundant blessing that is family in their lives. Be grateful for the abundance of family. Not only that, but friendsgivings, friends, an abundance of people who want to be in your presence. Let that sit for a second. We come here every Sunday. And I know Ken has mentioned in the past, we all know each other, so we're hugging and carrying on. And it might be a little off-putting for new people. But the reality is we like each other here. Right? This is not the sit in the back of the church and nobody ever speaks to you kind of a place. This is the, hey, how you doing? Happy Sunday. How's your cat? Kind of a place. The, hey, Francine, I'm missing Rosie. How's she doing? Kind of a place. And it's a form of abundance to be somewhere where people who might only see you on Sunday have enough state of mind to remember your cat, your dog, your daughter, people that they've probably never have or will meet. But they have a connection with you that surfaces it enough for their heart to be cracked open enough to ask you about your trip, that dinner you were worried about, your mother being ill, your father being ill, your dog or your cat being ill. That's abundance. And that's something to be grateful for because it's a blessing. Counting your blessings instead of sheep. Sometimes you just need to count. I'm going to count my blessings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. How many online? We got another 15. Okay. I'm going to keep on counting. Because each of you is a blessing in my life. It is because of you, because of Ken, because of Art and Brian and Luke and Mark and my beautiful family of music. I am blessed to be able to stand here. I love you because of Reverend Elizabeth. Y'all are a blessing in my life. That's my abundance. And generosity. You are giving of your time by being here. Rev Ken talks about when you come together and you sit in each other's energy, we are fed. Whether you realize it or not, when like-minded people come together in a space, you can feel it. It is a palpable energy that we all get to bathe in. And it is a generous sharing of your abundant blessing that is who you are, that makes Unity San Francisco something so powerful that it touched people in Detroit, Michigan. I'm gonna say that again. So powerful, it touched people across the country. It touched people across the world. There's somebody in Uganda that watches us, right? That is a testament to the love, the generosity of spirit, the generosity in spirit that we have. So those are the 3 words for me for this Thanksgiving: abundant blessings and generosity. You want to take that to meditation? Let's take that to meditation.